You read that title correctly. Could there be more changes at the coaching position? And I'm going to talk about 3 candidates I'd like to be special teams coach, and also some other moves I'd like to be done. What is up, Fin fans? Hope you guys are having a fantastic Friday. The weekend is here for you guys, so we will get into all the good stuff, talking about coaches. Like I said, Sunday, I didn't say today, but I've been saying it. Sunday I'll be live for the Buffalo Bills taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Yesterday I did not give you a fact. So every other day it's fact and then trivia. So today is trivia, but I'm also going to give you a fact to start off. So the fact is, in his first season in Miami in 2022, veteran NFL wideout Tyreek Hill set a single season club record of 119 catches and 1,710 receiving yards. He passed those receiving yards the following year. And here is your trivia. I will tell you the answer at the end of the video, but you should already know the answer to this one. The Dolphins posted a season high for points in 2022 in a 42-38 win on the road. Against what team in week 2? One more time, the Dolphins posted a season high for points in 2022 and a 42-38 win on the road against what team in week 2? We should all know the answer to this. So the Miami Dolphins have made 2 moves at coaching, essentially getting rid of Crossman, and Wes Welker. Now, there are 3 names that I'd like to throw out there for a potential special team replacement. But before we jump into that, there are some other moves that I would be intrigued to see if they were going to make. Now, we all know that Anthony Weaver had interest. Well, he didn't have interest. There was interest in him for the Saints head coaching job and for the Bears head coaching job. And on the Dive Bar podcast, my boys, they had Jeff Darlington on there. And Jeff Darlington said, say the Bears come to him pretty hard. The Dolphins could probably make it right and give him a pay bump and keep him around. I think he wants to be in Miami. Weaver's very happy. So this might be a situation where Weaver stays one more year and then sees how it goes, because he did have this defense, pretty well. There were a few games like the Buffalo Bills game, like the Arizona Cardinals game, even the Jets game where the defense was kind of folding in some situations. I think the injuries to the defensive line and the secondary also did not help his situation. Plus, he couldn't bring in his own guys. So I think another year under, maybe we'll see how this pans out. And if the defense does really well again, he probably will get a head coaching job. But from what I'm hearing, he's probably going to stay. But if he were to move on, we all know we would like to get Robert Saleh. But I think he just completed an interview with the Jaguars. And I would be shocked if he doesn't go to San Fran, because San Fran has an opening for a defensive coordinator position. There would be other guys out there, but I'm not going to go too far into detail because Anthony Weaver's still with us. And from what Ian Rappaport said, he's probably not going anywhere. Some other possible moves, and this is not going to happen. I know for a fact this isn't going to happen. This is something I would like to see happen, right? Frank Smith. To me, and again, I am not in the building. I don't know what he does or what he doesn't do. All of these things. And no offense to Frank Smith, who was an offensive line coach for the Chargers before he came here to be our offense coordinator. What do you do? Like Frank Smith. What do you do? Because Mike McDaniel calls the plays, and I'm pretty sure Mike McDaniel puts the schemes together and does all that stuff. What do you do? Now, in a perfect world, I would have Mike McDaniel give up play calling. But Mike McDaniel's way too obsessive and controlling over the offense that he does not want to give up play calling. He says, if I feel like I need to, I will, but I don't feel like I need to. Well, like, my man, you need to. Like, you scheme great, but when it comes to that day, your brain is all over the place. When we need you to focus on being a head coach, versus being an offensive coordinator. I've had people on the comment section say, well, if he's not calling plays, what's the point of having him here? Like, people need to understand the difference between being a play caller and a head coach. Like, a head coach has a lot of jobs and a lot of stuff he needs to deal with, especially on game day, that being the offensive coordinator also is taking away from those things, like calling timeouts, making sure the plays are getting in. He could still be on the headset and be like, hey, I like this idea, or hey, we should focus on this next drive, like these defensive minded coaches do. But I personally don't think he should be calling plays. And I think the guy who should be calling plays, for my personal opinion, is Darrell Bevell. Now, right now, he is the quarterback's coach and the pass game coordinator. So he has a two-headed job. And when he was with Seattle from 2011 to 2017, their offense was pretty flipping good, right? In 2011, they were points 23rd and yards 28th. That was his first year there. And then he starts to get it together. And in 2012, they were 9-17 when it comes to points and yards. 2013, 8-17. 2014, 10-9. 2015, he had the fourth best offense in the NFL. 2016, 18 in points, 12 in yards. In 2017, 11th in points and 15th in yards. So he was a good offensive coordinator. So I wouldn't be upset with him calling plays, but if they really want to go in a different direction, bring like Doug Peterson in or something. The fun fact about Doug Peterson, he was on the Dolphins for a year. I think that was what year? I wrote it down. It was 1 year Doug Peterson was a backup quarterback, 93 to 94 for the Miami Dolphins. Bring him in. But I honestly think McDaniel needs to give a play calling, because a lot of the other things that are part of the head coaching duties fall to the wayside to his play calling. And we notice it, like the discipline of the team and the penalties and the challenges and the timeouts and, focusing on all of these different things kind of fall to the wayside when he's calling the plays. And then the plays get in late because he has to focus on this, and that. He's not very good at multitasking from what I'm picking up. Again, I could be wrong. So for me, I would give up the play calling. And again, in-house for me, I give it to Darrell Bevell. But if you want to go out of house, you can go to Doug Peterson. No. That's just a thought. But we do have an opening at special teams coordinator. And obviously we all want Darren Rizzi to come back. Will he come back? That's a whole other situation, because he did go in for a opportunity to be hired as the head coach, and the Dolphins didn't end up hiring him. I think they hired Brian Flores at the time, and then Brian Flores didn't keep him around. So then he was like, all right, I'm out. Deuces, goes to the Saints, and now the Saints are looking for a new head coach, so he probably has an opportunity. So obviously I'd love to bring Darren Rizzi back. We had a very good special teams with Darren Rizzi. But there's other names out there that are very interesting to me. One being Chris Tabor. Chris Tabor, who was with the Carolina Panthers in 2023, actually had a good stint with the Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns as their special team coordinator. So with Chicago, he left the college level football and got his first shot in the National Football League in 2008 to 2010 as assistant special team coach with the Chicago Bears. He was under coordinator Dave Tabu and head coach Lovie Smith's staff. During Tabor's tenure with Chicago consistently ranked among the league's leaders in numerous departments. The Bears ranked in the top 5 in no less than 9 different special teams categories combined over the 3-year period. Chicago led the NFL in total yards, kick return yards, and posted the second best kick return average, ranked 3rd in punt return defense, and produced the 5th best punt return average. The Bears also registered 6 total kick returns for touchdowns in that time, which tied for a second most in the league. So that was with Chicago with his first stint. Obviously, he wasn't the special teams coach, but he was part of it. Then with Cleveland in 2011, Tabor was hired for the Cleveland Browns as their special team coordinator. During Tabor's tenure in Cleveland, the Browns were the only NFL team to have earned at least one AFC Special Team Player of the Week award each season from 2011 to 2016. In total, the Browns won 7 AFC Special Teams Player of the Week awards. He also oversaw kicker Phil Dawson and returner Joshua Cribbs in 2012 when both were selected to the Pro Bowl, making just the second time in team history that 2 specialists made the annual All-Star game in the same season. Also during his tenure with the Browns, they led the NFL in punt return average and were first in kick return average and were tied for 6th in punt return touchdowns. It obviously helps that you have Joshua Cribbs. So he does know what he's doing. His second stint with Chicago returned in 2018 under Matt Nagy. In October 20, he tested positive for COVID, so then he kind of didn't coach and yada yada. And then he was with Carolina most recently. So Chris Tabor would be a very good special teams coordinator. And then you have a name out there of John Fassel. And he is currently with the Dallas Cowboys, but obviously they're going to get a new head coach. So there is an opportunity for him to be available. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys have the 12th best special teams this past season. When he was with the Oakland Raiders in 2009, he got promoted to special team coordinator after Brian Schneider took a job with Pete Carroll at USC. At the end of the 2011 NFL season, the Oakland Raiders fired their head coach Hugh Jackson and the entire coaching staff, including Fassel. During the season, though, Fassel had 3 special team players, Sebastian Janikowski, punter Shane Letcher, and long snapper John Kondo selected to the Pro Bowl. And then when he was with the Rams in 2012, Fassel took the lead role in developing the talent of kicker Greg Zuerlein and punter holder John Hecker and long snapper Jake McQuady. Together, Zuerlein, Hecker, and McQuady have combined for 7 Pro Bowl appearances and remained together as a unit for 7 seasons going into the 2019 season. Under Fassel's guidance, Rams players earned NFC Special Team Player of the Week honor 15 times. On December 12, 2016, Fassel was announced as the interim head coach for the Los Angeles Rams after the firing of Jeff Fisher. And again, now he is with the Dallas Cowboys. So he knows what he's doing as well. So those 2 names have a lot of experience, and Fassel has head coaching experience, interim head coaching experience. So those are 2 names that I would love for them to bring in as special team coordinator. Will they do it? Probably not. Like, if I'm being 100% honest with you, they make sense. Again, with the John Fassel situation, they have to figure out who the Dallas Cowboys' new head coach is going to be, with Mike McCarthy not being there anymore. And then if he wants to keep John Fassel around, Chris Tabor is out there. He's able to be signed. Again, I gave you the stats. He had very good stints with different teams as their special teams coordinator. And I'm kind of looking at like other assistant coaches here that they could move on from. Like, watch them, Ronnie Bradford, who is the assistant special team, senior special team assistant, watch them just promote him up. But then, like, on the defensive side, like, who does Anthony Weaver want to keep around? Because some of these guys weren't his pick. Butch Berry, what are they going to do with him? Are they thinking more of an injury side of things? That's why, Butch, he's going to be okay. We'll see about that. The wide receivers coach is obviously gone. I don't see any other offensive people being let go. More of the defensive people, like Austin Clark. Could he be gone? The defensive line coach. Could the cornerbacks coach be gone? Could the linebackers coach be gone? And Joe Barry. There's some names out there. But for me, the things that I'm focusing on is the 2 names that I would replace with special teams. Now, obviously, we want Darren Rizzi, like I said, but if he doesn't want to come back, John Fassel and Chris Tabor, look him up. I gave you the information, but if you want to look them up on your own, I would move on, or at least give the play calling duty to someone else, but we already know he ain't doing that. And then, is Anthony Weaver staying? And if he's staying, we're fine with that, and we'll see where we go from there. But comment below. What are your thoughts on my 3 names for special teams coordinator and the 2 that I like in John Fassel and Chris Tabor? And let me tell you the answer to the trivia question. The Dolphins posted a season high for points in 2022 and a 42-38 win on the road against what team in week 2? Say it with me. The Baltimore Ravens. A crazy game, down 21, coming back and winning that one. I will see you guys on Sunday at 6:30. Buffalo Bills hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Going to be a good one. Like usual, stay classy and fins up.